This morning we're talking about sodium or salt. Is there a benefit to incorporating it into your diet? And if so, how much is too much?
Good questions. Andrea Atchison is a physician assistant and wellness coach. She's also behind the Heart Health Academy. She joins us now along with Lisa Lucido, a nurse and heart failure program coordinator at St. Joseph's Health. Good morning, ladies. And Andrea, let's start with you. Salt or no salt? What's the answer?
You know, it's a tough question. Good morning to both of you. So the problem is this: we all need some sodium in our diets to function. It's a normal thing. The problem is most Americans consume way too much. So that's the issue that we're going to talk about a little bit today. And that can lead to a lot of problems with our bodily systems. And the big one is heart disease.
Yeah, you know, Lisa, can you talk a little bit about why salt is so important to your health?
Salt plays a vital role in our bodies with muscle and nerve function.
All right, so Andrea, you mentioned a moment ago that too much salt is a bad thing. It can affect your heart. How so?
Correct. So what happens is if you consume too much salt, and a lot of people do, the fluid can build up in your bloodstream. And then the problem is the kidneys sometimes cannot filter that out. So that you have fluid buildup, which could be in your legs, it can be in your lungs, and then that can cause congestive heart failure, for example, which is Lisa's specialty in her clinic. The other thing is too much salt can cause high blood pressure. So when you have that, which millions of Americans do, it can cause heart attacks and stroke, which can kill you. So yeah, it's a very dangerous thing.
So then, you know, Lisa, how much salt should a person work into their diet?
We usually would like our patients to keep, to keep their salt intake to less than 2,000 milligrams a day is what we teach our patients.
And I wanted to show you, it's hard to see a little bit on camera, but this is just a teaspoon of salt. So that's roughly this amount all day long. And you're going to see in a minute, I pulled out a soup can. I'm going to pretend it's not from my cupboard, but it is. And on the back of it, like this is almost a daily amount of sodium. And so I'm kind of like, I need to get rid of this.
So Andrea, can you give us some tips in terms of cutting salt in our diet so that we're closer to that, that first measurement you showed us and not so much, where that can was?
Yeah, absolutely. Because all you're going to eat all day is the soup can. So a few things you can do. Number one is you watch the deli counter at the store. The hams and the turkeys and roast beefs, they have so much sodium in them and they're not good for us anyway. The other thing you can do is I pulled out just some products from my cupboard. There's so many spices that you can use besides salt. Obviously there's pepper, but there's fancy things at the store. There's vinegars, there's lemon. And if I could show you, but I can't, my cupboard over here, I probably have about 50 spices in there because I cook and my husband's a chef as well. So use what you have, use spices, herbs, thyme, anything that you have. There's lots of fancy things like seasoned pepper, Mrs. Dash. There's so many different kinds of that. And Lisa, maybe you can comment on the new salts.
Often I get asked from patients about using sodium substitutes or new salt, which it is okay as long as the patient doesn't have any kidney disease, because with kidney disease, patients tend to hold on to potassium in their blood. And actually, the new salt is made with potassium salts. So in patients with kidney disease, that might not be the best choice to use.
So you're trading one problem for another sometimes, yeah. And most of the foods that we eat, as you guys know, are prepared or processed. That's the big problem as well. We're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. So if you can dumb this whole thing down, if you're eating better foods, you're going to get less salt. 70% of the salt that we get in our diet is from packaged or prepared foods.
So then let's say you're shopping at the grocery store, and people who are needing to make these changes, they say small changes over time equals success. In terms of sodium, should you be buying like low sodium products? If you're still buying those, is that safe or should you just avoid them altogether?
Low sodium products definitely are much better.
Okay.
But, it's good to encourage patients and people to look at food labels. Because even though it's low sodium, it still can add up pretty quickly.
Okay.
I always look at cholesterol on the side. Now I got to worry about sodium as well, apparently.
Yeah. Well, if you eat all the fruits and veggies,
That's
though,
right.
then you don't have to,
right.
and you can season them yourself.
So that's a good
There
solution.
you go.
Right?
Be careful what you put on the top of that.
I know that's true. I like salt.
I think we all do. That's the problem.
Can of soup, Christina.
That's the problem.
Listen, to learn more, you can connect with Andrea on her website, thehearthealthacademy.com, or on her Facebook page at Andrea Atchison, PA. This segment has been sponsored by St. Joseph's Health Cardiovascular Institute.